Okay, well, we are all assembled, and just now we're down to making the final adjustments with the tail servo. I have to get that set right, make sure the gyro is working correctly, make sure that I got the other servos hooked up correctly into the receiver. So I'm just going to use the owner's manual for that to make sure I got the right servos going right direction. We will also level the swash plate, and there's quite a few videos out there on how to do that. I may or may not try to make my own video here to go along with this and how to level the swash plate. Well, we'll see how that goes, but you may also want to review those other videos out there on how to level the swash plate. They're very informative, and they may do a better job than what I can do. As for setting up the tail, I'm just going to follow the E-Flight videos that, or the blade videos that they have for the Blade 450 on how to set up the tail. And again, they'll probably do a lot better job than what I could do here trying to explain it. So I would recommend that you review those. As for the blades, I was able to use those Maverick G5 Pro blades. Talking with a gentleman down at the hobby store, he said all I needed to do was to use some nylon washers. He had mentioned Findler washers, I think they were called. But what I found too is that the Dubro, can you read that? Dubro 1032 nylon flat washers worked okay. He suggested that if I only had enough room to put one washer in, or just to put it on the bottom, because if I was doing more inverted flight than I was normal flight, then he would recommend that I put them on the top. So what I will do though after the first few flights is just keep an eye on those, see what kind of wear I'm getting, and that should hopefully that'll work fine. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is we'll hook up a battery, center all the servos, make the adjustments on the tail servo, and we'll go from there. Okay, I got the tail set up. Everything is working good on the tail. I did find out that I did have these two servos in the wrong spot. I did have to swap those on the receiver, and I've discovered that when I was going through the checks in the book there for direction of the servos. So make sure that you double check that prior to doing any flight test. Now I'm going to attempt to level a swash plate. I will attempt to explain how to level the swash plate using the blade swash plate leveling tool. Again, you may want to check out some of the other videos that's online there. They may be able to explain it a lot better than I can. But one thing you want to do is you're going to want to take two wires off of the motor from the ESC there, so that way the motor doesn't turn on you while you're doing the testing, and you'll need to throttle up on it on the receiver anyway, or transmitter. So the first thing I'm going to do is we'll plug this in, turn it on, take it to half throttle. I think that's how it goes, but anyhow, we'll stumble through it here, but I'm going to shut you off till I get everything set up. Okay, once I started setting up, I remembered how to do it now. What you want to do again is unplug two wires from your motor, plug in your battery, and you're going to want to set your transmitter to stunt mode, or throttle up or throttle up, I think they call it, and then put your pitch at neutral, so that way you know that when you're in this mode here that your blades are going to be at neutral pitch. And then take your blade leveling tool, slide it in through the back, and then you set your swash plate down on top of it. And as you see, I've got the swash plate disconnected from the servos. and you want that swash plate to sit level on that swash plate leveling tool. Then what you do is you take and you adjust your control rods. It's like this one here I'm going to have to bring down. So you adjust these till they all fit on your swash plate at neutral position here. That one looks pretty good. May not have to adjust that one. And one on this other side here. Yeah, I'm going to have to bring that one up. So then once you're all done with that, you know that your swash plate is going to be level at neutral position when you're in stunt mode or throttle up. And that's I'm going to go ahead and make these adjustments and get that set, and that's all there is to setting up your leveling your swash plate. Okay, now I'm going to attempt to explain how to check your pitch, and then that should be my final step for this setup, and we should be ready for the maiden flight. But the weather has gone sour on us. We now have rain, and it's supposed to be rain for the next week. So what I may do is watch for a break in the rain and maybe take it out to the parking space out here just to get it into a hover and check for tracking. But what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and I still got the motor disconnected here. We're in stunt mode or throttle up, and I'm at neutral pitch. What I'm going to do is we'll use this kind of as a support, and I put like one of the fly bars in there just to keep this level. And I got my pitch gauge here. I'm going to set it for 0 pitch. And I'm going to put this on the blade like so. I'm going to put it down here a little ways. And what we're going to do is, it's kind of hard to tell with the camera, and actually it doesn't look too bad, but I like to use the edge up here at the top and match that, kind of go along with the fly bar there as a point of reference to get this set at 0 pitch. Looks like I might have to make an adjustment, and you can make any adjustments in your swash plate settings, the mixing on your transmitter there. I use a DX8. Some of you may use the DX6. I'm not quite sure how that's done on the DX6, so I'm not going to explain how to do it on the transmitter. You may have to look that up on your transmitter instructions. There's also some other videos out there on how to set up specific transmitters. So alright, so I'm going to check the pitch at neutral, and then we're going to check a pitch again at negative pitch and positive pitch. I'm going to be going for about 9 degrees positive and negative pitch. And one thing to keep in mind is that your pitch needs to be the same on both sides. I ran across a problem on my last crash that I could get 0 pitch on both blades, but when I went to negative or positive pitch, I found that there was a difference. I would get like 9 degrees on one blade, and on the other blade I would have like maybe 13 degrees. But I would get neutral, 0 pitch on neutral on both of them at the same time. So you want to make sure that both blades are at the same pitch, because you'll find out that when you go inverted, it will do some crazy things. You won't notice such a difference in pitch when you're flying normal, but I've been told that when you go inverted, you really notice it there. So what I discovered at that point was that my blade grips were a little tweaked, and so swapped out the blade grips, and then that solved that problem. So if you come across that, take another look at your blade grips. Hopefully I won't have that problem with this crash, because I don't have an extra set of blade grips. So I'm going to go ahead and set my pitch, and see you in a minute. One thing I forgot to mention, that to set 0 pitch, once you have your pitch at 0 here on your transmitter, or in the middle position for 0 pitch, you set 0 pitch on your blades by taking this link off, and then turning it one way or the other in order to either raise or lower your linkage here for your blade grips, to get those set both at 0. And then after you've done that, you set both positive and negative. And again, you just set to set 0, you put your pitch gauge on there and then kind of eyeball it with your fly bar. And okay, now back to set my pitch. Back in a minute.